The stage of America's Got Talent feels impossibly large as Arvin steps out from behind the curtain. For a brief moment, the lights are so bright that everything beyond them disappears, as if the world has narrowed to a single glowing circle where he now stands alone. The polished floor reflects the spotlights above, and Arvin can see a faint, trembling version of himself mirrored beneath his feet. He swallows hard. His heart is pounding so loudly that he's sure the judges can hear it from behind their desk. He takes a slow step forward, then another, each movement careful and measured, as though he's afraid the ground might vanish if he moves too quickly. His clothes are simple, clean, but clearly worn. Nothing about him screams, star. And yet, there is something about the way he holds himself, a quiet dignity, shaped by years of carrying responsibility far heavier than his young frame should have known. The audience murmurs softly as they take him in. Some people lean forward in their seats, curious. Others glance at one another, silently wondering what kind of audition this might be. On the judges' panel, Simon Cowell studies Arvin with his familiar, unreadable expression. His arms are crossed, his posture relaxed but guarded, as if he's seen this moment 1,000 times before, and knows how often it ends in disappointment. Arvin reaches the center of the stage and stops. For a second, he forgets where he is. His mind drifts thousands of miles away, back to the narrow streets of his neighborhood in the Philippines. He remembers the smell of rain on hot pavement, the sound of motorbikes passing too close, the way his mother's voice used to call him inside before it got dark. He remembers singing, not on a stage like this, but on cracked sidewalks, outside small stores, anywhere people might stop long enough to listen. "Hi," a judge's voice gently breaks the silence. Arvin blinks and looks up, pulling himself back into the present. He grips the microphone with both hands, feeling its cool metal steady him. His voice comes out soft at first, almost swallowed by the vastness of the theater. "Hello, my name is Arvin," he says. "I'm from the Philippines." There's a polite ripple of applause. Arvin nods slightly, then takes a breath deeper than the last. He knows this is the moment when people decide whether to listen, or to tune out. One of the judges asks him why he came all this way. Arvin hesitates, searching for the right words. English isn't easy for him, but what he wants to say comes from somewhere deeper than language. "I grew up very poor," he begins. "My family did not have much. Sometimes, we didn't know if we would have enough food. But we always had music." The room grows quieter. Arvin explains how his father worked long hours, how his mother did everything she could to keep the family together. He talks about singing on the streets as a child, not for attention, but to help. Coins dropped into his hands became rice on the table, school supplies for his younger siblings, a small sense of hope when things felt impossible. As he speaks, the cameras move closer, capturing the emotion flickering across his face. His eyes shine, but he doesn't cry. Not yet. He's learned how to hold his feelings inside, how to keep going even when his chest feels tight. Simon Cowell shifts slightly in his chair. His arms remain crossed, but his gaze sharpens. This isn't just another rehearsed sob story. There's a rawness here, an honesty that can't be faked. Arvin finishes speaking and looks down for a moment, gathering himself. The silence stretches. It isn't awkward, it's heavy, expectant, as if everyone in the room is holding the same breath. "What will you be singing for us today?" a judge asks. Arvin lifts his head. "This song," he says, quietly, "is for my family, and for everyone who feels like their dream is too far away." He walks toward the center mark on the stage. The microphone stand waits for him, tall and still. He adjusts it slightly, then places his hands at his sides. His fingers tremble, but he steadies them by pressing his feet firmly into the floor. The music begins, soft, almost fragile. Just a few gentle notes, like a whisper. Arvin closes his eyes. When he starts to sing, his voice is barely above a breath. It's tender, cautious, as if he's testing the space, seeing whether it's safe to let himself be heard. The sound floats through the theater, thin but pure, carrying a vulnerability that makes people lean in without realizing they've moved. In the audience, conversations stop completely. A woman in the front row presses her hand to her chest. Somewhere in the darkness, someone exhales shakily. As Arvin continues, his voice grows stronger, not louder, but fuller. Each note seems to carry a piece of his life with it, the long nights, the hunger, the hope, the quiet determination. There's no showmanship yet, no dramatic gestures. Just a boy standing under the lights, offering his truth. The judges exchange quick glances. One of them raises their eyebrows in surprise. This is not what they expected. Simon leans forward, uncrossing his arms without even noticing. His eyes remain fixed on Arvin, studying not just the sound, but the emotion behind it. There's a sincerity here that cuts through the noise of competition, through the expectations and the cynicism that come with a show like this. Arvin reaches the first chorus. His voice trembles, not because he's nervous, but because the song means too much to him. For a split second, it feels like he might lose control. Then he steadies himself and pushes through, and something changes. The sound blooms, filling the theater with warmth and ache all at once. The spotlight above him seems brighter now, or maybe it's just that everyone is finally seeing him. By the time the music dips again, the entire room is silent, suspended in the moment. This is only the beginning of the song, only the first part of his story, but already, it's clear that Arvin didn't just come to audition. He came to be heard. And as the notes linger in the air, even Simon Cowell, known for his toughest critiques, watches with an expression that suggests this audition might be different from all the rest. As the song moves forward, something inside Arvin seems to open completely. The hesitation that once softened his voice fades, replaced by a quiet confidence born not from training or stage experience, but from lived pain. Each lyric now lands with purpose. His voice no longer feels like it's searching for permission, it has found its place. The melody begins to rise, and with it, Arvin's emotions. He opens his eyes, gazing out into the sea of faces before him. Thousands of strangers sit in silence, yet it feels as though he's singing to each one personally. His voice carries a fragile strength, the kind that doesn't shout to be heard but commands attention through honesty. The camera cuts to the audience. A man in the second row wipes his eyes quickly, embarrassed to be seen crying. A young woman clasps her hands together as if in prayer. Even those who came expecting entertainment now sit transfixed, their hearts unexpectedly pulled into a story they didn't know they needed to hear. Arvin reaches the second verse, and his voice deepens. There's a subtle crack on one note, not a mistake, but a moment so real it sends a wave through the room. That single imperfect sound carries years of struggle, nights spent wondering if tomorrow would be kinder, mornings waking with hope despite disappointment, dreams held together by faith alone. On the judges' panel, expressions shift. One judge leans back slowly, eyes wide in disbelief. Another presses their lips together, trying to maintain composure. This is no longer just an audition, it's a confession, a release. Then the camera finds Simon Cowell. At first, Simon's face is still, unreadable. But as Arvin holds a long, aching note, something changes. Simon's jaw tightens slightly. His eyes soften. He blinks once, then again. The signature toughness he's known for begins to crack. Simon looks down briefly, shaking his head almost imperceptibly, as if surprised by his own reaction. He exhales, then looks back up at the stage, his gaze locked on Arvin. There's moisture now in his eyes, catching the light. The man who has judged thousands of performers suddenly looks like someone remembering something deeply personal. Back on stage, Arvin is lost in the song. His hands tremble at his sides, fingers curling slightly as he pours everything he has into the next line. This part of the song speaks of hope, fragile, distant, but alive. His voice swells, filling every corner of the theater, echoing off walls that have heard countless dreams rise and fall. The music builds toward the chorus again, stronger this time. Arvin steps closer to the microphone, his posture straighter now, as if the song itself is holding him up. He closes his eyes tightly, and when he releases the next note, it's powerful enough to send a visible reaction through the crowd. Gasps ripple across the audience. This is the moment where everything shifts. The emotion in Arvin's voice is no longer just sad, it's triumphant. Pain is still there, but so is resilience. Every word feels earned. Every breath feels intentional. It's as if he's no longer singing just for his family back home, but for every person who has ever been told they weren't enough. The music suddenly pulls back, leaving Arvin almost alone with his voice. The theater is so quiet that even the soft echo of his singing feels loud. He delivers the final lines of the verse with a trembling intensity, his voice brushing the edge between control and collapse. Tears begin to fall down his face, unplanned and unstoppable. He doesn't wipe them away. He keeps singing. In the audience, more people are openly crying now. A standing ovation threatens to erupt early, but the crowd holds back, instinctively knowing this moment must not be interrupted. Phones are forgotten. Time seems to slow. Simon Cowell raises a hand to his face, brushing beneath one eye. He tries to disguise it, but the cameras catch everything. The tough judge who rarely shows vulnerability is visibly emotional, moved not by perfection, but by truth. As the final chorus begins, the full music returns, swelling behind Arvin like a wave. He lifts his head, tears shining under the stage lights, and delivers the chorus with everything he has left. His voice soars, not flawless, not polished, but achingly real. When the last note rings out, Arvin holds it just long enough to let the feeling settle, then releases it into silence. For a split second, there is nothing. No clapping, no cheering, just a heavy, stunned quiet. Then the entire theater explodes. The audience leaps to their feet in a thunderous standing ovation. Cheers roar from every direction. Some people scream his name. Others clap above their heads, tears streaming freely. The judges stand as well, applauding with genuine awe. Arvin lowers his head, overwhelmed. His shoulders shake as the weight of the moment finally hits him. He presses a hand to his chest, breathing hard, trying to understand what just happened. On the judges' panel, Simon Cowell stands silently, clapping slowly, his eyes still wet. He looks at Arvin not as a critic, but as someone deeply moved. And in that moment, everyone in the room knows this audition has crossed a line.